Hello, I think we are live now. I didn't actually set my phone down where I wanted it beforehand, so. Okay, I'm assuming people are just gonna hop on as we go, since I already got some questions that people wanted answered this morning. So some of the things we're gonna try to talk about today are Patreons, Kickstarters, ARCs, and just general special editions and things. So I will give it a second before I go into that though. So what I'm gonna do in the meantime, I actually got my bandit tattoo finished. So I'm gonna show you guys my super duper amazing bandit tattoo because it looks so dope. Now it's fresh, so like, you know the dealio if you've had so hopefully you can see it and my phone did not do a thing and that you're not getting like more than you bargained for there. But yeah, so that is my super dope bandit tattoo. I was gonna lift my leg up like I did last time, but I'm pretty sure I flashed some people. Not my intent. But I'll post some pictures of it afterwards. Either way, though, I'm very happy. I had it finished yesterday. So to me, my bandit tattoo is super exciting because I finally have a blue raccoon, and I may not be the only person in the world with a blue raccoon for a tattoo, but I'm probably one of very, very few. So yeah. Okay, it looks like we've got some people. So, now that I've showed you guys my my amazing tattoo, I'll try to talk about some of the things that you guys asked me to talk about today. So where to start? Oh God, that's the only thing with lists. Like they get jumbled in my head and mixed up, and then I kind of start bouncing around everywhere. ADHD is a beautiful thing sometimes, not usually, but it's a thing. So we're going to stick with that. So ARCs and Patreon kind of go hand in hand. What's happening with me and AJ is outside of the Immortal Vices and Virtues stuff, AJ and I will not be doing ARCs in the future. There's a few reasons for this. One, ARCs can be a good bit of work. We're paying our PA to manage all of that. Inevitably, there's always people that don't end up getting it, and I end up needing to get involved or trying to get a hold of someone. There's just a lot there. And so what that's going to look like in the future is actually ARCs are getting roped into our Patreon. So every Patreon tier will have ARCs available. The real thing that's different with each Patreon tier is how early you get them. So like the base tier, which is called the Bandit, and it's the base tier because I think everyone should love Bandit at their base. Like that's my justification for this. So the base tier, which is the Bandit, you'll get ARCs, I think it's like 5 days before release. So you'll still get them early. You still get the book. And this will include Immortal Vices and Virtues stuff too. Like this isn't just things outside of that. So anything that's like I should clarify, our Immortal Vices and Virtues it includes. It does not include if there's other authors in the Immortal Vices and Virtues. Here's the thing with that, is you're not required to review. So this is part of it, is instead of having it where PA has to hunt people down all the time for every little thing, if you're on the Patreon, you're not required to review. Now, if you love us dearly and you want books, I still massively appreciate those reviews. And I'll probably do some special things in Patreon for all of those people that like review, even though they don't have to. But you're not required. You're not going to get booted. Nothing bad's going to happen. So reviews won't be required as long as that's how you're getting it. Now, if you're getting it through the Immortal Vices and Virtues art group, which is not available for this season anymore. We've still got people that have been trying to join. It's not available. It's only available up until the first book in the series releases. Covet Me has been out for a couple months now, so you can't join for that. But season 3 will be available next year. And so for those, you have to be in the group. And if you're in that group and you're doing ARCs that way and you're on the Patreon, you're still going to be required to review because you're doing it through that group. And there's a lot more people other than me and AJ that are going to be doing books, like in the Immortal Vices and Virtues one. Obviously, you know, we're only one of the however many books. I'm not disclosing. I'll tell you a secret. Right now, I'm very, very stoked for our list for next year. Like, it's gonna be dope. But right now, there is a number between the first season and the second season for how many books there will be. So season 1 was like 11 books and season 2 is like 6 books. So, you know, it's somewhere in between those two for how many books / authors there will be. I am very excited. That season is going to be MF as well. So all of my readers that are not reverse harem fans, or are just like, even if you are a reverse harem fan, but maybe you prefer MF, that season's going to be more MF. It's also going to be pretty spicy as usual. You know, you guys know what to expect from the Immortal Vices and Virtues world now. So it's going to fall in line with that. It's just going to be a little bit closer to season 1 than season 2, since, you know, there's only going to be like one guy, one girl versus like 3, 4, however many guys and one girl. So that is what's going on with that. Dialing back to Patreon a little bit. So the second tier is the Hades tier. The Hades tier, you'll get the arcs even earlier. I think it's like 10 days, I want to say. You get it like 10 days before release. And then the final tier, which is the Nova, you know, named for Danica's wolf. You will get arcs, I think it's 3 weeks before release. This is the earliest we have ever done arcs ever. Like, I have never given a book out more than 2 weeks before release. That's the best I've done. So that is the earliest. So if you're like a mega fan that's just like cannot wait for things, that's a good option. The other thing you get with that tier is that you get in progress chapters. So you will get to read like chapters of the book before we do the full arc. Now these chapters are not edited. So we don't edit every single chapter. We can't, before it goes to you guys. Like we'll have both looked through it. And AJ is like, when it comes to editing. So, you know, it probably won't be truly terrible like it would be if I gave you just my raw stuff. But it's not going to be edited. So just like keep that in mind, that some parts could stay, could go. In general, not that much goes when we edit. Usually it's like fixing up and adding more than anything. But yeah, so like that's the third tier. That's the only tier that's going to be able to get early chapters. So you can be reading chapters of a book. You know, we'll try to release one a week, I think, is our goal. And these chapters can range from 1,500 words to 8,000. If you've read Covet Me, you know that is quite that's kind of what the chapters look like. There's ones that are shorter. And then we literally had like an 8,000 word chapter that was like a beast, and it was horrible. I hope it read well. People told me it did, but it was horrible in terms of like, it took me so long to write it because it was a lot. Like I can usually dictate a chapter in 30 minutes. And that's like a 2,000 word chapter on average. So I can dictate a chapter in 30 minutes. That chapter took me like an hour and a half to dictate. And then on top of that, it took me like 6 hours to fix, because when I dictate, the microphone doesn't always catch everything right, and doesn't like, so names are often messed up. Danny's name was probably less messed up. Danny and Adrian. Malachi was regularly messed up. Niall was always messed up. We got Niall, we got Denial. We got all kinds of things for that one. So dictating is fun when it comes to that. Sometimes it gets curse words and sometimes it changes them, kind of like Apple with like, if you say fuck, it'll say duck, or vice versa in my case. And then there's just the general thing of like, I'll say a sentence and yet it somehow hears something completely different. Like at times, seeing how the dictation thing works, now that I'm very used to it, I have to wonder if sometimes that's kind of how my partner is. He hears one thing and it translates into something else completely. I don't know. But anyways, total tangent there. Yeah, so that's kind of the dealio with Patreon. There is going to be other perks. So like in the Nova tier and the Hades tier, you'll also have a discount for my store and our Raging Hippo store. So the Hades one, you'll get a 5% discount. The Nova one, you'll get a 10%. May not sound like a lot at first, but keep in mind, I sell hardbacks somewhere between $40 and $50 a piece. So if you get like the Dark Magi series, that's literally $200, 10% off of that is $20. So that's pretty solid. That actually pays for the tier. So that's one of the things you can get from it. We'll also be doing a lot of exclusive art that we'll be revealing there. So you'll get any kind of early reveals, like things that are going to be going on special editions, but it's also things that are going to be, like NSFW art. So like we can't use that for ads, and a lot of printers, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of printers are a bit hesitant to put anything too racy on a book. So that kind of stuff you're only going to be able to get there. The other thing that we're going to be doing, and this is available to all the tiers, is that we're going to do a quarterly short story kind of deal, or bonus scene, depending on what that looks like. So, you know, one of the things I've been hearing for a lot is like people are asking like, hey, are we going to get a Covet Me scene with Dani and all three of her guys that's spicy? We're not opposed. We're not opposed. That's one of the things though that like if we do it, it's going to be available there. Writing a scene like that, it takes more than a day. So like full on work day plus all of the time involved in editing. RH scenes are incredibly difficult in terms of like how much they require in edits, because it's sort of like herding a cat through a revolving door, or really 5 cats through a revolving door, 4 cats, whatever. Writing a foursome, you have to make sure everyone's tail is through the door, everyone's got their paws and their whiskers, and that no one's getting the door slammed on them, no broken things. And so that's kind of where that is coming from. I've got a lot of things saying that people are watching. People are watching, but are you guys commenting? I want to make sure that I'm seeing comments if they're coming through. Can someone say hello in the comments just so that I know? Because if I don't see that, that means I'm not seeing other comments that might be coming through, and I like to make sure I'm answering questions. I'm not, like, how do I don't even know if there's like a way to adjust that to be like, yo, do the thing correctly. I don't know, but I'll open my laptop here in a second then and make sure I'm seeing all the comments if it's just not playing nice today. Facebook is not consistent with how it does things, so like 1 second. Oh, I can write a comment. That's kind of cool. I don't want to write one, but I didn't know I could write one, so that's fun. So yeah, they're not consistent. Sometimes things work and sometimes things don't, and like messaging help for it isn't going to do anything. Really, you just kind of have to wait until they fix it, because they don't do a thing ever. But yeah, so I think that kind of gives a base rundown of Patreon. There's a few more perks on there that, I mean, you'll get more regular updates. You'll get early cover reveals and releases and blurbs. If you're in the Nova tier, when we need names or stuff, you will be able to put forth names. So like, let's say you wanted a character named after you. In the future, that's the only potential way you may get that, is that, you know, you put forth names, and the other 2 tiers get to vote. So like, if there's a list of things, you can vote and your opinion matters, obviously. But if you're, yeah, its comments are definitely not working, so I'll have to open up my laptop. But if you're doing the thing and, sorry, you're just gonna have to give me a second. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys too terribly this morning. It is Wake Up Wednesday for a reason. Oh, you are? Okay, so yeah, you guys are commenting. There's like a bunch of comments here, and penis go swear. Thanks, Kayla. Thanks. Yeah, okay, so I've now got the comments open on this. It's, if you said anything before the last 2 minutes, I actually can't see it because this chat is currently, like, when you're on a live, the chat only shows you what the most recent stuff is. So the only way around that, if you guys had questions that you asked sometime in the last, I don't know, however many minutes I've been on already, you'll want to ask it again just because I'm not going to see it. I've got the hellos, but that's all I can see on the computer right now. So yeah, so that's the dealio with Patreon. I hope I didn't cut off like mid-thought. I might have cut off mid-thought. I do that sometimes. And ARCs. So if you're wanting to make sure that you're getting ARCs for us in the future, you're going to want to be on our Patreon. Oh, Kayla said no questions. That's good. That's good. Okay, so the other question we had was about Kickstarters, special editions. So Kickstarters, I have a Demons of New Chicago's Kickstarter that's coming. Honestly, it would already be up saying like, hey, here's your pre-Kickstarter, except for they're being super dickish and not letting me put it up saying that it's going to be coming until literally every single Kickstarter thing from our first one has sent, and been received. So that's fun. Not super happy about that, not gonna lie. What that looks like is one of two things. I will either put it up and it's not gonna go live until September, or I will put it up and it will be a very, very short period of it being like, hey, there's gonna be a Kickstarter, follow it here, versus like just putting it live. The Kickstarter will be open for 2 to 3 weeks. I'm kind of dabbling on that some. I can tell you that only hardbacks will be available for it. I will not be doing paperbacks at all. There will be very limited tiers. We learned a lot from our first one. So there was a lot of people that weren't really interested in all the swag. The unfortunate part of that is that we actually bought all of the swag beforehand. So with that, we actually had to eat a decent number of costs, and I will be completely straight. I don't think we made anything at all off of our first one. But we learned a lot, so that's like a super awesome thing. But yeah, so this one will not have a bunch of extra swag. If you're an early bird, you'll be able to, it'll be $20 cheaper, and you'll be able to get the art inserts. So I'm not offering the art inserts separately. I'm not offering them as an add-on, and they're not in the lower tiers. You will only be able to get them as the early bird, and there is 100 available total. So 90 that are one thing and then 10 that are another. This will be for the full hardback set of Demons in New Chicago. And it'll be 4 art inserts. So that will be available that way. That's like your early bird special. So it's $20 less, and you're getting 4 art inserts. They're limited. There will not be more. If you want them, you are going to need to do that Kickstarter. You can gift your PA some swag. I'm sure I can, Kayla. I'm sure I can. I'm sorry. I'm like slightly tired still. It's not too bad, but slightly. I actually really enjoy these videos as like a little side note. I wasn't sure if I would enjoy them or if they would exhaust me, but I'm actually like, I come away feeling really good afterwards. I like this form of connecting with you guys, answering questions. I know that it's kind of like me talking at you, but it's not as overwhelming as like at signings when I end up having like a bunch of people and it's in person. And yeah, I don't know. I feel I am super awk at signings. Kayla can attest to this. And if you've met me at a signing, you're probably like, yeah, she's kind of awk. Cal, you can do it, and you can do extra swag as an add-on. So here's the other thing with add-ons is it makes the shipping a bit more difficult because we have to then go through every single one of who is, sorry, I just got a message, who has an add-on, who doesn't, all of that. So that's why we're not doing a bunch of that. What I will say is that the swag will be offered in the form of, the things you hit. Can someone insert? It's not the rewards. It's when you meet like goals, stretch goals. There we go. Stretch goals. Okay. So when you meet stretch goals, which is like, you know, let's say $10,000, blah, 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 everyone will get X thing. That's what we're going to be doing for that instead. So the other thing that's going to be really different with this one is it will be available everywhere. So if you're international, you're going to be able to buy it. Everyone's going to be able to buy it. You're going to have to pay for the shipping for it. There's no way around that, but you know, it's going to be available everywhere. So if you're in Australia or England or France or Timbuktu, like it's available. So that will be a thing. The books are so pretty. If you saw the auctions that I was running, have been running, you would have seen that was one of the first, like it was like one of the first couple of things I auctioned was some of the hardbacks. And the hardbacks I auctioned are not with any of the extras that Kickstarter would be hopefully, you know, doing. All of our stretch goals. So some of the things too that I know people will want to know is like, what kind of stretch goals will there be? I see your question, Carissa, and I will get to that in 1 second. I'm just letting you know that I see it. So some of the stretch goals are going to be things like printed edges, foiled dust jackets, what's it called? Ribbon marks in the book. Like all of those extra pretty things that you guys love. Those are like the early stretch goals because I'm prioritizing this time getting you the most exclusive edition possible of this book first and foremost. So printed edges is on there, Lindsay, and it's like under 10 grand. So like if you guys could meet it for Reject Me, I bet you can meet it for this one. So all of that is on there. Those are the earliest painted edges. They're not going to be painted. They're going to be printed. So it's literally like pictures that are printed on the edges. And in this case, it's going to be like printed of stuff that is done for the books that I cannot show you much of yet. But I will definitely be showing everyone like once it's live and as we're meeting stretch goals, you guys will get to see those things. When do you think you're going to start the Kickstarter for Demons? So I'm going to start it as soon as I can, really. My two options are like starting it as soon as everything Kickstarter wise is done for, what's it called? The Reject Me Kickstarter. I can either start it live literally after that, or I have to wait to put it to where it's like, hey, there's a Kickstarter coming, follow it here. And I've kind of really dabbled back and forth on this, and I'm not going to be able to have it in that like, hey, there's a Kickstarter coming soon here. So I guess I'm kind of coming to that realization as I'm answering this live. I think I'm going to probably push it live where it'll be in that it's coming soon for like 2 seconds and then go live. And I will post everywhere. I will post in my newsletter and I will talk about it here because you best bet there will be a couple Wake Up Wednesdays during it. It'll be 2 to 3 weeks long. So during that time frame, which means it's either going to close probably September 1st or September 8th, one of those two. So that is what I'm planning for Demons the New Chicago Kickstarter. And all of the swag, as I said, will be available in terms of like as we hit things, because I'm not going to be buying a bunch of it beforehand this time like I did last time. I did that to try to cut back on shipping times because, as you guys probably realize, just in day-to-day life, in general, people are late. Things happen. You know, getting some of the coins took a bit. Getting the books took a bit. Like, good God. You want to talk about something that was late and we had a lot of issues with? That was a thing. So we ordered 65 hardbacks in one order and 15 of the 65 were jacked. I was like, what? So, you know, that's a prime example of why some of these things take some time is that. Now, and some of that was the printing was jacked and how they did it. And some of it was how it shipped. So then once you factor that in, so we have 50 good books. Okay. How many of those get jacked when we send them in shipping? We don't know yet. A lot of people have received their box, about half, but not everyone has yet. So given that, We have to account for that. And these things are not cheap at all. So someone did ask with the Reject Me Kickstarter if we'll be offering the extra swag on our website. Yes. So any extra boxes that we have left over will be offered. They're not going to be at a discount. I'll be completely 1000% honest. One, most importantly, it's not fair to our Kickstarters who back this at the price. So extra stuff will be offered. Now, there are certain things that there are not extra of, or will be very, very few, possibly like so few that we may just say like, screw it, we'll do a short giveaway or something with it. So yeah, that's, I haven't yet, but yes, yours did need a bigger box, Lindsay. Yours is one of the ones that I've been checking on periodically. Because AJ is actually handling all of the shipping. And yes, some of you guys needed a bigger box because you ordered all the things. And I want to say that I love you and I thank you for doing that, because that's super awesome. So, but yes, if you missed the Kickstarter, there will be some of the Reject Me special editions that will be available on our website, and swag that will be available on the website to purchase. That website's Raging Hippo Store. The other thing I'm going to be putting up, and I'm going to put it up today, is if you want to purchase copies that have book plates for Demon's Guide or signed. They're either book plates or signed. It's one of the two. They have my signature in some capacity. I will be putting them up on our website for Demon's Guide to the Afterlife. I'll probably put up 10 sets of the complete series, so you guys can get that at raginghipposstore.com. And I'm going to do that literally when I get off the live so that I make sure I remember. Honestly, I should probably write it down, but I don't have anything right here to write it down. Oh, wait. Seriously? Okay, I've got a pencil that's not sharpened, but I do have a notepad, so there we go. My child sometimes gets into my office, and so I have to be like, I keep a bunch of things like my pens and whatnot in Ziplocs because he still hasn't figured those out. So he'll take like the pencil that's not sharpened and go do stuff with it. And I'd rather not walk in here and have like my super duper amazing Dealio up here ruined with Sharpie, or my wall, which is probably more likely. Wish I had the funds to buy right now, but I don't. It makes me sad. Yeah, I know. And that's the unfortunate part, is not everyone has the funds. I will say this with the Kickstarter. I'm going to be doing my best to get them out before Christmas. Like, fingers crossed, if everything goes as it should, I will do my best to get them out, you know, early. I'm not marking it as that because I don't want, if I'm late, then people are like, oh my God, Kel, you're late. You're terrible. I know some of you don't say that, but there are a lot of people that do that. Fun fact, we didn't say we'd be shipping any of these boxes until August, and I've already got people that are messaging like, where's my box? And it's like, it's not like all of them can be sent at one time. Like, do you know how many boxes that would be? I'm pretty sure AJ's husband would like have a mini heart attack if she kept all of those boxes in their dining room until they were 1000% done. So, I'm writing this down though. Demons. Come on, did I seriously pick a jank ass pen too? God damn it. Don't you hate that when you get a pen and then it doesn't work? Like, really? Who does that shit? Okay, come on now. Two? Oh, okay, never mind. You're gonna work now. Thank you. You just needed to be talked down to a little bit. That was all you needed to behave. Demon's Guide 10 times upload store. Yeah, no, okay. Now I've got that down, so it'll happen. Okay, Kayla asked a question. She asked if the Kiss by Chaos will be available in the Kickstarter. It will not. But we are going to do another Kickstarter for the entirety of Nat's series that will have all 3 books. Now, there's a little bit of an open question mark on whether we're doing it before like all of the Reject Me, or not Reject Me, Demons in New Chicago stuff is done, or if we're doing it after. And the follow-up thing is before or after the 3rd book is finished. So what will be part of it, you know, given that, is probably like, if it's before, we'll be like, hey, You'll get all of this when the third book releases. If it's after, then obviously the third book's done. But we would do it where those covers match and are pretty. And so then you would have all of Piper's stuff and all of Nat's stuff that you could put side by side and it would look amazing. So yeah, that's currently like the plan is we're going to do a separate one for Nat's series. Since like I've got a bunch of stuff for Demons already in the works and we don't have all of that in the works for Nat's series currently. Okay. Amanda Taylor asks, do you know which narrators are doing the audiobook with Tantor? Oh, I feel like I was supposed to look this up. Let me see. Maybe their website says it. Let's take a look, guys. Tantor.com. So fun fact, they actually don't tell me the release dates until after they're already uploaded. So half the time I find out by literally just Googling my name on Tantor.com and seeing what they have for a release date. So let's see what they got up already. So they've got Covet Me, Kiss by Chaos, Reject Me, and Worship Me all up. So let's take a look and see if they say who are. Okay, Worship Me is going to be narrated by Desiree Ketchum and Teddy Hamilton. So that is who will be doing Worship Me. Reject Me will be Michelle Sparks and Teddy Hamilton. Okay. Covet Me will be Bridget Bordeaux and JF Harding. Kiss by Chaos I already know because that's my amazing couple, Adam Gold and Savannah Gilmore. So they will be doing Kiss by Chaos. And that releases October 31st, which I am so excited about. And I talked about it last week, that I'm super excited about this because, yeah. Lindsay, you said people are horrible. Oh, no, it cleared. I'll read it afterwards. Oh, now it's wanting to show me your comments. Grace Lee, you must have triggered it. I don't know how because no one's comments were showing on my phone literally until you said morning broski. So thank you, Grace Lee, for being that thing that made, it keeps stopping on you. That's rude. That is super, super rude. But yeah, no. It wasn't showing comments on my phone, so I had to open my computer and I've kind of been having to look between the two. But now they're showing, so that's great. But yeah, so those are the narrators that are going to be doing all the books. Super excited about that. I do have some amazing narrators doing my books. I do. I agree. I will say when I signed with Tantor, I was pretty adamant about like, I get the narrators I want. And that's that. Because I know, like, if we're going to do this and I'd rather them be done right. And so when I do that, that's why I ask you guys, like, when I ask polls of like, who do you guys like as narrators? Like, I'm actually paying attention. I promise I'm not just asking these things to like up engagement in the group. Like, I paid attention, and Michelle Sparks and Bridget Bordeaux and, Desiree Ketchum, like, these were people that were talked about. And when I see people's names repeated, I literally write a short list of 3 to 5 names and I say one of these ones for this book. And that's what I do for every book. Because AJ and I then go and listen and we say, okay, this person works well for this character, but not this character. So that's kind of how that works. And that's how you end up with like the narrators you do. So yeah, that is what's up with the narration. I know that Covet Me is coming out January for narration. The audiobook will be, and then Reject Me is coming out in March and Worship Me is coming out in April. So all of that's coming early 2024, which may seem far off, but hey, I mean, at least they're doing them pretty close together. I'm actually happy, at least in that sense. I really wanted Reject Me this year, but to get the narrators that you guys love, we kind of had to wait till next year. So that is the flip side of it. Is that all of those narrators that we know and love, they get booked out pretty far. So that part's not so great, but that we get to have those is awesome. So I am very excited about that. I did have a question about Queen of the Damned. So I think it was Lindsay. I'm like 90% certain that it was Lindsay that asked beforehand, will there be a Queen of the Damned special edition? And the answer is yes. Yes, that is the answer. The thing with this is I don't know how, with Kickstarter, I don't know, like they don't let you launch multiple Kickstarters until something has completely 1000% shipped. So I can't be like dealing and shipping the Kickstarter for Demons of New Chicago while having the Queen of the Damned one live. Not quite sure what to do about this. I'll be straight. I don't know. Gonna have to figure that out, but there will be a Queen of the Damned special edition. And you know, I've debated back and forth between offering it on my website or Kickstarter. The thing is to get this special edition done, I won't lie, it was a lot of money. So they are already in the works. Fun fact, like I can't actually put up special editions unless I have covers and all of those other things for it. So yes, they are in the works. And I do have covers, and what the special edition will look like is that they will be 2 books per hardback. So I've told you guys before, I cannot justify. Did it come back? Okay, it came back. Very good. I can't justify putting Ruby's book by itself in a hardback. It's too short. That's just like, it's not good. So book 1 and 2 will be in a hardback. Book 2 and 3 will, or 3 and 4 will be in a hardback. They're going to be flip books. So that is the cool thing with that. They're also going to be foiled. So I can tell you all of that ahead of time. Like those are set in stone. Those books are being done. They're being foiled. Like that is that. Have Aurelia make a Kickstarter account and you guys can launch 2 projects, 1 on each account. Yeah, so I would love to say that's going to work. I've actually like created a Raging Hippo one, and we'll see if they let us. Honestly, so here's the thing is Kickstarter is kind of like the rest of these places in that they're hit and miss. I've seen them allow it for some authors, and then they've been like super rude with me, and I've gone back and forth with them about it. And I even like, because I created a new account, and I didn't actually create it because they were being rude about me publishing this. But I did create a new account, uploaded everything again for a new page, and they were still like, you can't do this. And I was like, you guys suck. So yes, Queen of the Damned will have special editions. They will be foiled. It's going to be 2 volumes, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and they're flip books. So you got the book, you flip it literally like, and then it's the second one. So like where they end is like in the middle. It's not like an omnibus where you read one and then you just keep reading. It's like you read one, get to the end, close the book, flip it, start the next one. So it's super cool, and I will be posting about those once I can. I'm really hesitant to sell them just on my website because 1, not cheap to produce. 2, I had to get a certain amount ahead of time to even be able to do these. And 3, I guess I have like major hesitations on how well it'll sell if it's on my website. So I'm not sure they're what I'm going to do yet. I would prefer to do a Kickstarter and then just sell the leftovers, but I guess we shall see on that one. Flip book for adults. Yes. So those are in the works, and I'm very excited about them. The Bandit, it's a different kind of Bandit for every header. So that's really cool. I'm super stoked about this. Not going to lie. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with those. They will be happening though, because I've had enough people say, hey, I really want Queen of the Damned and I really want hardback and I'd really love special edition of that. So, you know, instead of doing more special editions of Reject Me or other things, which don't get me wrong, like Reject Me is amazing. It's fun fact, it's like the best seller of all, which is the reason you guys got a special edition of that first. You know, that's why we're kind of going in order of things that sell. So like if you want a special edition of something, like I have to be like, hey, yeah, this will actually sell and make up the cost of like spending over $1,000 on the covers and any formatting and other crap like that. Oh, you said you're gonna need a Bandit emoji sticker. Well, okay. I've actually got that. Did I put them up? I hope I didn't put them up. God damn it. Why do I do smart things? I don't understand. I'm gonna get them back out though. I thought I showed you guys these, but maybe I didn't. I know I showed you guys the other ones, so fun fact. So this is Ruby's Bandit. This is her chapter header in the book. They're holographic stickers. Yeah, I think if I do it as a Kickstarter, it'll sell. I just kind of need to have it doing the thing. So that's Ruby's Bandit. I got holographic stickers of it because Sticker Mule was running a deal, and I really, really love them so much. And then this one, it says, when in doubt, do what Bandit would do. So that's another sticker I had done. So super fun. But yes, Bandit stickers are a thing. I do so love them. No, computer, do not try to update. I will cut you. I will cut you so bad. I swear, technology and me, we just do not get along. I do owe you a package, Gracely. I need you to move and get your address so I know where to send it. You whore. Like, God, I hope Facebook doesn't be like, wow, this chick curses all the time, so we're not going to show her video to anyone. That would really be my luck, wouldn't it? Because I'm like F-rated, or what's the term? R-rated. F-rated. So yes. Oh, you have your address. Okay. Well, don't put it in the comments because you don't want everyone having your address. But if you send it to me, I'll get your box. I say I'll get your box. AJ will get your box sent because AJ's got it packed and it's literally sitting on her kitchen table. So she's like, I really want to get this out, so I need Gracely's address ASAP. It says F-rated. Yeah, no, F-rated. Totally stole that. So that's kind of what's going on with like special editions, Kickstarters, Patreon, ARCs, all of that good stuff. Do not put it in the comments. Kayla, bad Kayla. Like, no, do not do that. Man, y'all crack me up. And when I do get off, I'm going to upload Demon's Guide. I'll do 10 copies of the hardbacks in the Raging Hippo store. I've got some stuff uploaded in the Cal Carpenter store too. So I've got Salem's entire trilogy uploaded, and all of those also have pretty new chapter headings. So I finally did the new covers, and I have them in paperback, and they've got pretty headings, and I probably should have grabbed one to show you guys. Oh, does it matter? Do you guys want to see it? Do I need to show you? Kel said no, she is law. I am law, god damn it. I am the law. I am the woman, the woe man, you know? But if it's okay, I'm not gonna go dig them out. But if you want to see the pretty things, you said we always want to see the pretty things. I suppose I can. You're just gonna have to be a little patient with me and forgive me if you see anything that's not great. Oh my God, I need to get my ultra large calendar over here uploaded. Not uploaded, put up on the wall. Uploaded. Wow, I'm really like doing great with this shit this morning, aren't I? Fun fact, I haven't filled out the top half, so you can't actually see it. At least what's on it, or what's planned. I did see though, someone asked, I think it was my amazing PA, if there's any plans in the future. So, okay. Oh, well this one's $5 off, guys. Ain't that fun? So, I already know why too, because one of the books has a dent on it. You said, she does pay my bills. I mean, if you're putting it on a wall, you've loaded it up to a wall. Yeah, we'll go with that. I need my husband's help is really the thing. It's like 4 feet long, and so it requires a second person. But then it requires a second person that like really requires 3 people because we need a person to watch the child. Because he wants to help and like I just can't with him. So okay, so these are available in my shop right now. The super pretty like non-person covers. This one is $5 off. You can see there's like a little bit of dent warping there. That was an issue in, honestly, it's a warping, like it's not even a dent, like that's an issue in how they printed it. The other 2 are perfect in every way. So the difference with these is you got like Hostess Cupcakes for chapter header, and then let me see. I know that I've got a page break in here somewhere because that's another thingy that's super fun when that happens. Did I pick up like the one freaking book that has like no page breaks? Oh, really? What is that? What did I see? I thought I saw something cool that I haven't seen before in here. Man, you wouldn't believe the number of things that like I just don't pay that much attention to apparently. I am pretty sure though that this sucker, the way it's, yes it is, haha, okay. So that's fun. I have not realized this. I thought it only happened in ebooks. But apparently when I say something is a text, it actually shows up looking like a text in the book. Isn't that cool? Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it only worked on ebooks. So that's fun. When you find cool shit in your own books. Yeah, right? Seriously. Like, did not know that, which means letters show up that way too. Oh, that one's a little small. I need to see. Let me see. There we go. Found it. Okay. So the other cool thing this book has is the chapter break thingy is actually the gate for Salem's Mansion with the S for Shroud. So that is a thing. I am now going to have to rewrap these suckers in plastic wrap, but you got to see them. You got to see that they're pretty. Even the one version that's kind of a little bit warped, and they've got pretty covers and they match and they're all glossy and gorgeous. And I wrap them literally, it's like I sign them, wrap them, and then these suckers get put in my like plastic wrap dealio here because I do not trust my child to not somehow get a hold of them with his little sticky hands. And the last thing I want is to send you guys something that's got like, you know, drool or ketchup or God knows what, honestly, with him. Like, the number of times I've had to say things like, don't eat the dog food, or, you know, don't play in the litter box. Like, good God, kids are something else. Facebook just glitched hard, and it just had the image frozen with audio of you being here somewhere. Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's actually Facebook. I think it might be because I had an alarm go off on my phone that should not have been going off. But yeah, it could have been Facebook though. Completely possible. So yeah, they're now rewrapped and they're amazing plastic wrap. Jude putting his own stamp on them. Yeah, that does sound like him. He is a bit, what's the word? I don't want to say self-centered, but I think all babies are, honestly. They don't have any kind of wherewithal to be like, yeah, you know, let's care about mom and like let her sleep in, and you know, if she's feeling sad, let's not try to cheer her up by hitting her with our truck or some shit like that. I already turned the alarm off. It shouldn't be cutting out still. What is sleep? Okay, well, it can't be cutting out now. But yeah, no, the alarm, I know the alarm messed it up, so I apologize. I will try to make sure that those are off in the future for our super amazing fun videos. Also, I only realized that it is 10:12. That's exciting. I sometimes am running late, and then I end up like doing these until like 11:30, and then I ask myself, you know, what am I doing with my life? So I did have a question. I think I was talking about it when I was reaching for the Salem books, where I was like, yeah, someone asked what I'm working on. So last week I told you guys that I was working on that series that I have been super excited for 5 years. I still am, but like me and AJ kind of realized that some things in that series needed to be reworked. So I've written 15,000 words in it. What that looks like is like 50 pages to a reader. So 50 pages are written, and 50 pages are probably gonna have to be deleted. So this happens sometimes. It's happened with several of my books when it's like a first in series. They may not be full on deleted. Maybe it's something I'll offer on Patreon or whatever, closer to like when the book is going to come out. But we're having to make some changes, and those changes will be significant enough that like a lot of it, if not all of it, will have to go and be redone, which super sucks. I hate when that happens because then it makes me feel like I put in like 2 weeks of work for nothing. You said don't do that to me. It's gotta go. It's not gonna be as good as it will be. It'll be better, and readers will like it more if I make these changes, I think. So that's like a thing. That like when working out stuff, like I just kept having this feeling where I was like, you know, I don't know if this book is where, like, I'm enjoying writing it. I like it, but like, I don't think that it's where it needs to be for like what readers want to read. I'm really good at studying like the market and seeing like what does well and why. And one of the things I've noticed is, you know, people want characters that are more relatable. So like one of the things with this main character is like she is, but she isn't. Where she starts is not where she needs to start. And so we're kind of having to dial it back some and refigure out a few things. It's still the same core story. It's just where the book starts and where she starts need to be a little bit different. You should keep stuff though, so you can see where you started and where it ended. I mean, I usually do keep drafts. I just don't like use them or give them to people. But I usually do hold on to them. You'd be amazed if you saw Daisley's first draft, like the first Heir of Shadows book. Oh, talk about rough. You love my characters as a reader, you cry for me as a writer. Ain't that the damn truth right there, bro? Like, so much. But yeah, so, you know, but here's the thing. So I'm working on 3 books right now. It wasn't just this one. This one was just the one that kind of started to take form more. I'm actually kind of happy that I had this realization now. This is not the first book this has happened with, and it's happened a lot worse with a different book where I had to rewrite the entire book. That was not fun. I don't want to do that. So I am happy that it happened now. And I do feel like what it will be when AJ and I are done will be much better. The core of the story is the same, but there's a few key things in the beginning that need to change. So what I'm doing is I'm working on some of the other 2 projects. I'm also taking some more time for myself though over the next couple of weeks. I haven't talked about it very much, but you know, I've mentioned, and I'm running auctions for my mom. And my mom she's doing all right, but she's going through a rough time. And sometimes that reflects on me in the sense of that, you know, not to make it all about me, no. But sometimes I struggle when I think about it because I worry about her, as most of us worry about, you know, our mom, our dad, our child, our friend. I worry about her. And so sometimes that can kind of get to me, that worry. And so I'm taking a bit more time for myself. I'll be working on a lot of admin stuff, like answering emails with publishers and, you know, all of that fun stuff. I've got books in like 5 languages now, so publishers are a lot of my time. I say a lot of my time, like honestly, answering emails from publishers is probably like an hour or so, but it's an hour or so probably like 3 or 4 times a week. It just depends. So I'm going to be doing some admin and I'm going to be reading a lot. That's one thing, is I haven't gotten to read much. When we were working on Covet Me, good God, that was like the deadline from hell. So Covet Me, like we knew it would be long, but we really were hoping it wouldn't be. And then we had to rework it because what we thought would be like what it is now ended up like, it would have been like a 300,000 word book. Like we wanted to show you guys more trials and things like that. Fun fact, like that is something we wanted to do. I can't actually close out of this and turn that off without completely shutting down the live. So I'm sorry. I'll try to wrap this up before it goes off again. I've got 8 to 10 minutes when that usually happens. But yeah, so Covet Me was the deadline from hell. And it, even after cutting, was 142,000 words. Okay, so Grimm is like 150,000 roughly, the entire trilogy. So, you know, I had a question last week about series versus standalones. Here's the thing. My standalones are pretty damn close to series. They're long because I'm not going to skimp on the character development to cram it all in one book. what it does is it's actually for my mental health and Aurelia's mental health to some degree, but more so mine, because you guys don't see this, but when I have trilogy or longer, I tend to really struggle by the last book. By Queen of the Damned, I struggled in the third. Let's see. Demons in New Chicago. You know, I didn't actually terribly struggle with the fourth, other than the fact I'd had Jude and I was behind, and so I had to write like every day for like a month and a half to finish the fourth book in a decent amount of time. Daisley, oh God, I struggled so much in the third one and the fourth one. So yeah, I mean, in general, a series, a lot of times I really struggle later on in the series. So writing the story in a standalone, you know, where I do cut just anything that's like fluff, it helps a lot. It helps my mental health so that I know, like, you guys have the whole thing right there in front of you and you're not waiting on anything. And then I don't feel like this pressure to make it better. Because that's really the hard thing with, like, when you write a series. I feel like the ending is built up more with every book. And so if you don't follow through, and like literally every book, it seems like it has to be bigger and bigger. Like if it's a trilogy, it's one thing. If it's 4 books, it has to be even bigger. If it's 5, it has to be even bigger. So, you know, like that can cause some anxiety because I want to do the best thing, but I'm also one person. And while I have AJ now, who is super, super awesome and helps me, and like we work through all of these endings and things together, there's still that anxiety because I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to give you guys something that's like crap, you know, we're like, hey, you read this, you waited a year for this, and then the ending was like utter crap. Like, I don't want to do that. And sometimes I don't feel like writing. I know that may come as a shock. Sometimes I don't. And when I write through that, sometimes the book is okay. And sometimes it is very much not. And it requires a lot of work to fix it and fix the ending and make it all better. And so like, I want to avoid that being the case. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do series again for one. Like I want to do some series that are like Immortal Vices and the Virtues in the sense of, it's different characters within the world, but it would be characters like that, you know, me and AJ would write like all the books instead of like different authors for each book. So I do want to do more like that. I'm sure there are ones that will end up being, you know, there's a decent chance that the story that I've been working on that I said I need to change kind of some of it, it may end up being a duology. It'll either be a standalone or a duology. It's going to be one of the two, but I don't see us letting it be 3 books. That's, it's just, no. But then also, so like the other 2 books I'm working on right now is my book for IVV3. So that's actually the one that I'm going to be dictating some more today because I'm kind of feeling it and I'm like enjoying it. And so right now I'm focusing on like, if I'm enjoying it, that's what I'm going to work on. So my book for IVV3 is what I'm working on. And then I've also kind of just got stuff running around in my head for the 3rd and final Nat book. What we're going to do there, because there's so many different things to hit still. And again, like I said, when you've got like a trilogy or something, you know, that final book, it can be nerve-wracking. Even if it's a series that doesn't do super well, it can still be nerve-wracking because I never want it to be disappointing, even if it's not going to be like, you know, gangbuster or, you know, like super crazy where like it's the one book that everyone recommends or whatever, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on right now. I would really like to launch the Patreon soon. I would. So I've got like the whole thing set up. I need to put some posts in there. AJ needs to take a look through some of the things. But I would like to launch it soon. So with any luck, we'll be able to launch it within the next week or 2. If not, it'll probably be sometime in August. And once the stuff for Kickstarter lets me put it up, you guys will be the first to know. I'm going to cross all of my fingers that it goes up in August. And I will let it go to September 1st at least, because I know there's a lot of people that get paid at the very beginning of the month. So September 1st is the first day of the month, and it's a Friday. And And because of that, and I know a lot of people, you know, that kind of have to budget and think about that, like that is what it will be. So, and you'll be able to get those hardbacks. Those hardbacks specifically that like, that have any of the things with the Kickstarter, they're not going to be available on Amazon at all. Like if the hardbacks are available, it's not going to be with any of the extra special things. But they probably won't be. I don't currently have it set to be. As I said, be hardbacks. Hopefully that didn't pause that time. It looked like it might have done a thing. Do you think you might do stickers in Patreon too? I have actually considered that. I've debated on what it would look like to do stickers. That one wouldn't be too terrible. Or is having physical rewards in Patreon too much work? I mean, there is a bit of that. I considered at one point doing special editions through Patreon, but like the amount I would have to charge to justify it on Patreon is like crazy, even compared to like Kickstarter. And also because I currently have so many series, that makes it hard. Because like, what am I going to do then? Am I only going to do book ones and standalones? But if I do series and people start like, you know, 2 books into a series, they're going to get upset because they can't have book 1 and 2. Or it creates more work because then I have to find a way to offer them book 1 and 2. So that's the hard part, because I had really thought about doing like a book of the month kind of dealio with special editions in Patreon. You know, but like to do that, I don't see an easy way, unfortunately. Which is where Kickstarter comes into play, and my website. Do you think you might? Gracely over here sent me the stickers. But I might do stickers. They're a bit simpler. It's not obviously quite as complicated, and I've got a lot of things I can have done for them. I would just have to figure out a price point that makes sense, really, more than anything. So yeah, that's the current dealio, I think, with all that is going on. I don't see any more questions. I think I hit everything that people asked me to talk about this week. I will be spending the rest of my week reading and working on my IVV3 book. I will tell you, so that's probably one of the things I'm going to put up as a post in Patreon first, will be the reveal of like the title and the cover for my book for that one. When I say my book, right now you should probably just assume my book is in me and AJ's book, because AJ and I are co-writing, that I would be done before that stupid alarm went off again. And I swear I am going to stab it if I could. If it was a physical person, like it would be stabbed. But yeah, so like I'm going to put up the covers and their titles, different things. Premonition of Peace, may put up that cover here soon. But yeah, you know, if there's things that you guys want to see in Patreon, that is one of the things that, like, 1, you can put here and tell me. 2, if you join the Patreon, there will be a post of like, hey, what do you want to see? And I'm considering offering something more special to people that do it in the first month, because you're doing it before there's tons of extra added content. So, you know, I may do something that's like, giving away, I don't know, could be stickers, could be something else, just for people that join early on. So yeah, I think that covers it. I am starting to get a headache a bit, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I hope you guys have a super awesome week. I will definitely read through the comments, because I know that I missed a bunch of comments early on in this, and if there are questions afterwards, you're welcome to ask them in this thread, like the thing. I may not see them though, so you're also welcome to ask it in the form of like literally posting it in the group. I really don't care. Should probably share that title with you. Yeah, I probably should, shouldn't I? It's a great point there. But yeah, so I will see you lovely folks next Wednesday, roughly around this time.